working better for the benefits of students, because the conversations tend to be about individual students whose needs are prioritised, and then the groups work together in a coordinated way. So I think the whole joined-upness of Cairn has actually been enhanced by the Extended Services Agenda, which is a bit of a big claim, but I'm certain it's true. The nature of the work that has been done over the last couple of years, the kind of benefits that I've alluded to through Multi-Agency Forum, through Parent Support Advisors, but also through the Free Term Initiative and the number of students that have benefited from that, I think the participation rate is 90% at Key Stage 3 and 60% at Key Stage 4. We can't allow those kind of opportunities and those kind of enhanced living conditions and high life chances to disappear. So for me, there's a moral imperative as well as a financial imperative to make sure that the work that we've continued doesn't stop. And I'm certain that the primary heads would agree with me in terms of the cluster work of the Extended Services Agenda. So whatever happens with the work that we've done will not stop. That may seem a little naive, but it's my firm intention that it doesn't stop, for the reasons that I've mentioned in terms of children's lives. One of the things that Jackie Radford said to me yesterday when I was talking about the impact on our parents is that she said that they now approach us, they now talk to us rather than the other way round. And that becoming a norm is a massive step forward in terms of working with our parents in the interests of students. So I think your point is correct. It's fair to say now that the extended service is working, and the multi-agency model that we've got here is quite normal, and it's now just the way we work. So money notwithstanding, we will continue to work in the same way. I did jot down some of the figures that I wanted to refer to. The free time students, the 90% that take up the offer in Key Stage 3 and the 65% in Key Stage 4, they are by definition vulnerable students because they're postcode identified in terms of a range of criteria. So free time is targeting vulnerable students. Multi-Agency Forum by definition is targeting the most vulnerable, and we have case studies of 25 separate interventions with outcomes, and also the PSA referrals, the 151, are all of the figures that I've already referred to are specifically dealing with the most vulnerable children in Cairn. And the other way in which we target and identify the vulnerable is through the Multi-Agency Forum and the PSAs. The work is targeted on particular students. So it's the weapon is the rapier, not the bludgeon, if you like, in terms of the precision of the interventions. So we are only working with students that are on that vulnerable spectrum. We actually have a group that's meeting today as we speak that have a range of physical disabilities. They're called the Forum, and they work with us, and Jackie's aware of them, and we work with PASSIS. So, and they also tie in with an area of work that I haven't referred to, with the KPIG work. They're also involved in that, so that the views of that group of students are all represented. So we actually have a physically disabled group that ties in with the agenda. The Extended Schools Agenda isn't separate to what we already did, but it's enhanced it through the national initiative and funding, but it's an addition to what we already do. Last year we're one of the schools who got the inclusion quality mark, and we also have investors in families. So you can see that extended services is an organic part of what we were believed in as a school anyway. The steering group's an interesting one because we've had a fairly conventional steering group made up of representatives of all the organisations that I've talked about, and that group functioned reasonably well. There have frankly been difficulties with attendance, but the breadth of the work, in a sense, and the importance of the work has kind of outgrown, and this, I'm grappling with how to explain this, outgrown the use in some senses of the steering group. And one of the things we were thinking about last year was reconvening the steering group to make it wider and bigger. And we're in the process of actually deciding now what's appropriate in terms of the steering group, because lots of the little groups which come off the steering group are working well. Jackie and I have discussed it at length, and the work's going on irrespective of the steering group, and I think that says something about the maturity of where we are in terms of the Extended Services Agenda. So we have to sort of go back to square one and think about the steering group, because the work has outgrown the steering group, if that makes any sense. And that's a testament to the quality of the steering group rather than the fact that it didn't function. It functions effectively when a cluster has a group of people that believe in the vision, that believe in the potential around identified need based on evidence. And how it then operates will depend upon the need, and it will depend, frankly, on the personalities that are in place in the various organisations. And it will learn itself forward. There isn't a model. It will learn itself forward, and it will work or not work according to that. I mean, ours, I think, has been particularly successful. I think it's changed our relationship with families in the ways in which I alluded to, that they are more likely, particularly the kind of families that we've been talking about in terms of vulnerable and targeted, they're more likely now to approach us. They feel more at ease with us, they feel more confident with us, and that's largely, a large extent, due to the different way of working of parent support advisors and the fact they're not teachers, and the fact that also they have benefited from the interventions, whether it be free time, whether it be parental support advisor, or whether it be indirectly the outcomes of multi-agency forums. People know that they've benefited, and they also know that we're approachable and we actually have the same agenda, that the school agenda is exactly the same as the family agenda. So I actually think that our relationship with families has and is being transformed. And the fact that we're the first secondary school in Wiltshire to get the Investors in Families accreditation is a testament to that changed and enhanced relationship between us and parents. Now, I'm not saying we wouldn't have got it without the extended service agenda, but it's obviously helped. We've got various little phrases which I call the moral fabric of the school. And one or two of those, which sits nicely with the extended school agenda, is something about success, what constitutes success. And there's a poem by somebody called Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it talks about if even one life breathed more easily because you have lived, that is to have succeeded. Now, nothing could be truer in terms of the realisation of that quote than the extended schools agenda, because in some of the cases which I've alluded to, literally children's lives are breathing more easily because of the intervention. So nothing could be more important than that. We also talk here about education giving students that crucial sense of possibility. Well, that's sometimes not possible without a lot of joined up help around the child. So the two bits of rhetoric, if you like, are lives breathing more easily and education giving students a crucial sense of possibility through the extended services agenda, because schools can't do it on their own.